Imagine waking up 50,000 years ago. No cities, no governments, no money, no laws. Just small groups of humans trying to survive another day. Now imagine something strange. Every single person around you tells the truth. Always. No one can fake emotion. No one can hide intention. No one can pretend, and no one can lie. At first, that sounds perfect. But here's the disturbing part. If humans never learned how to lie, civilization may never have existed. Because lying may be the most dangerous skill our species ever evolved. And also, the reason you exist today. Think about every animal you know. A lion cannot pretend to be weak. A wolf cannot fake loyalty. A deer cannot trick another deer into believing something false. Animals communicate directly. What you see is what exists. No gap between inside and outside. No mask, no performance, no lie. But humans became different. At some point in history, something changed inside the human brain. For the first time, a creature learned how to hide reality itself. And once that happened, everything changed forever. Imagine two ancient humans standing near a river. Food is running low. Winter is coming. One of them secretly found berries earlier that morning. Enough food to survive another day. But instead of sharing, he says something strange. I found nothing, and suddenly, for the first time in history, reality splits into two worlds. What is true, and what another mind believes is true. A false world has been created, entirely inside someone else's brain. And this may have been one of the most powerful moments in human evolution. Because lying is not simple. To lie successfully, you need something terrifyingly advanced. You need to understand another mind. Think about what lying actually requires. Before you can deceive someone, you must imagine what they know, what they expect, what they believe, and then you must build a fake reality convincing enough to replace the real one. In other words, to lie, you first need intelligence powerful enough to simulate another human consciousness. No other animal on this planet can do all of that. And suddenly, lying stopped being a weakness. It became proof of extraordinary intelligence. But then something even stranger happened. The better humans became at lying, the smarter other humans had to become at detecting lies. And overnight, evolution created a war. Not a war of strength, not speed, not survival. A war inside the mind itself. One side trying to deceive, the other trying to detect deception. And this invisible battle may have accelerated human intelligence faster than anything else in history. Your brain became more powerful because humans started manipulating each other. Think about that for a second. The reason you can solve problems, plan for the future, imagine things that do not exist yet, may not be because humans needed to hunt or build shelter or find water. It may be because humans needed to outsmart each other. The most dangerous predator humans ever faced was never a lion. It was another human. But deception did not stop at survival. Humans discovered something even more terrifying. A lie can control behavior. You can make another person act without force, without weapons, without touching them at all. Imagine telling someone the forest ahead is cursed, even when it is perfectly safe. Imagine creating fear without anything existing at all, and suddenly, humans discovered a new kind of power. Not physical power, psychological power. The ability to control minds using nothing except words. And this is where civilization begins to get strange. Because look around modern society. Money, countries, laws, corporations, borders, religion, status. Most of these things are invisible. They exist only because billions of humans collectively agree to believe them. A piece of paper has no value. A border does not physically exist. A company is not a living thing. And yet, entire civilizations operate around ideas that exist nowhere in nature. Why? Because humans mastered something no other species ever achieved. The ability to make millions of strangers believe the same invisible story. The same brain that learned to hide berries from a starving tribe eventually learned how to create governments, religions, empires, economies. And here's the part that should disturb you. The greatest structures humans ever built were not built on truth, they were built on shared fiction. Stories powerful enough that everyone agreed to believe them. And because everyone believed them, they became real. Now imagine a world where humans never evolved this ability. No one can lie, no one can manipulate, no one can invent stories people cannot verify. At first, that sounds peaceful. But then civilization collapses instantly. And no politics, no religion, no money, no law, no trust between strangers, no large societies, no nations. Humans remain small primitive tribes forever. Because civilization itself depends on one strange ability: believing things that do not physically exist. And here is the final twist. The most powerful lies in history were not told by people who knew they were lying. The most powerful lies in history were told by people who believed them completely. Think about every leader who ever inspired millions, every founder who ever built something from nothing, every person who ever changed the world. They did not stand up and say, "Follow me because I have calculated our chances." They stood up and said, "I believe this completely." And that belief, that absolute unshakable certainty, is what made other people follow it, because the most convincing lie is the one the liar believes themselves. The brain that deceives itself first deceives others better, which means the lies that built civilization were not told by cynical manipulators. They were told by true believers. People who had convinced themselves so completely of the story that the story became real. So the next time you catch yourself in a small performance, a confidence you are not quite feeling, a smile you do not quite mean, a certainty you are faking until it becomes true. And remember this, you are not doing something shameful. You're doing something ancient, something so powerful, it took a species of frightened animals hiding in the dark and turned them into the only creature that has ever walked on the moon. You lied today. Someone lied to you today. Civilization is built on invisible agreements, and invisible agreements only exist because the human brain learned something no creature before it ever mastered: how to make another mind believe something that is not real. The lie was never the corruption of humanity. It was the invention of it. This has been Mind Archive.